Portia. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm pushing, sister. I'm pushing.
Hey, I got the shirt too that says "Keep pushing." I got all your shirts. Let's go higher.
I
Pushing.
appreciate you. I
Do good,
appreciate
seek
you.
justice. So y'all,
All
some
of
of y'all.
As of late, I've been blessed to, I've truly been blessed to see that God is starting to open up and give me the things that I prayed for.
Right.
And the fact that I'm in such a negative space and I'm not allowing these amazing things to happen that I've always wanted to happen.
Right.
It's like I'm almost messing up.
All right. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Progress with Portia, where we have real talk to progress individuals and communities. I'm so excited today to have the one and only Bishop Greg Davis with me. Wherever y'all are, can you clap your hands? I know this is not live.
Hey, Portia.
Hello, Bishop.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm excited to be here with you. Thank you for all your support down through the years. I appreciate you. Look at you now. You rocking and rolling.
I have to say, I called into your talk show, your radio show one time, and we've talked about that. But one thing I didn't share with you is when I called in, I just so looked up to you and having that radio show, and I was wanting to have my own at some point. And I was like, I get to interview the bishop. So
I'm excited. I love to see people grow and progress. Like, for real, this is amazing.
Well, thank you. And thank
you
you for
do something that I love. You cycle. I'm gonna come to Baton Rouge and cycle.
Oh, good. Yes, we would love to have you down here. And we can, I don't know, how far do you ride?
Oh, I can do 30 miles.
Oh, see, I'm not on your level. I don't even know if I can. I'm not going to say I can't. I never tried.
Do it. You having fun? Yeah, you can do it.
Right. So let me just introduce again. This is Bishop Greg Davis. He is the bishop in the Lord's Church. He is a part of Full Gospel Fellowship. He is a pastor. Let me just say this. He does everything. So he is an author, a recording artist. He hosts the Word Network. Does the Word Network? He hosts a radio show. He has the When the Right One Comes podcast or video. Is it podcast? And
When the Right One Comes, shows, brand, period, yep, radio show, yep.
He also started the Young Preachers movement, and so he does a lot of stuff. And I'm sure I left some stuff out. So Bishop, if I left anything out,
that's okay. We good.
Okay.
We good.
Yeah, the Lord definitely has not slacked in your gifts and talents. So, but today we are talking about his new book that he has out, Preparing and Positioning for the Right One, and the video blogs that you do with When the Right One Comes, because you have ventured into this space, and for a while now that God has allowed you to kind of be very open and vulnerable to share with the singles and to kind of pour your heart out, to mentor, to encourage, to uplift, to push us, in the right direction. And so you want to talk a little bit about what's happening and how did you even end up doing this?
The book?
The book and just sharing, because it's not always a Black male and a bishop. And those are two people who don't necessarily always open up and share and be as vulnerable as you are.
So, here's the thing. It started off after my divorce. I went through a very public divorce. I was on the Word Network doing Rejoice in the Word and a host for the Word Network. And I went through a divorce. I was married 20 years to a wonderful woman. We didn't get a divorce because we cheated on each other or infidelity. We grew apart. Ministry, the very thing that attracted us to each other, was the very thing that I allowed to take over our lives, and we didn't really have balance. And so right after that, I was, no matter whether you both agree on the divorce, it's still like a death. So I just started tweeting. There was no Instagram then. I just started tweeting. And the first one I did was, you have to become the right one in order to have the right one. And then I started doing more and more. Start doing more. Then I tried to stop it, and people was like, "No." Same thing with Young Preacher. So I was just, Portia, I was just really sharing my thoughts. I was thinking out loud through my own struggle, and it turned off into this movement. When the Right One Comes, everybody knows about it, everybody talks about it. And then I did a book called When the Right One Comes. It was my first book that I did on relationship, with about 700 of my quotes. There are thousands of them. Wow. And so then it turned into this whole thing of text messaging. Is now a radio show. I do a show with the men. I have a YouTube channel called When the Right One Comes, with over probably 400 videos on it.
Wow.
So it's becoming a movement, and I had planned to tour this year, but then came COVID. So now it's different shows and different facets and Clubhouse and all that stuff. We have a club called When the Right One Comes with about 2,000 members on it. And so it's really moving. So that and the Young Preachers movement, I know we'll talk about that, but it's a good time in the midst of COVID.
Yeah. And it's been for me a blessing, just kind of having someone to consistently, and I really want to thank you, because there are times that I've had, I've reached out to you, and I just thank you for making yourself available. So in this process, what is one of the lessons, or something that you've taken away from this, that maybe you've gotten out of this process of even pouring to other singles, that you maybe didn't think you would take away from this?
So it's so funny that you asked that, because today this young lady put on my Instagram page how much my post daily saved her life in a relationship. I get those all the time, and I'm like, dude, I'm just sharing my thoughts and others' thoughts. And and here's what I found out: I'm not just reaching the church no more. At the end of it, she was using some expletives, some language, and I just leave them alone, and I'm like, thank you for sharing this. And I get DMs all the time. You helped me get out of this marriage. You helped me get out of this relationship. If it wasn't for your quotes, they were life. These people I never talked to. So that's the most rewarding thing. Sometimes I'm up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning getting the post ready for the next day, but that makes it worth it all. Yeah. So I would say that's the takeaway.
That's a big takeaway. And so
it is a big takeaway to change people's lives over your own experiences. And I want to say that to somebody, don't be ashamed of what you've been through. Your experiences are for other people so that they can not go through the same thing.
Right. And so, with you saying that, sometimes, and I'm in a space, I definitely encourage people with relationships. I'm a counselor. But, sometimes you hear people say, well, if someone's been divorced, like, how can they provide relationship advice? And I know my thoughts towards it, but what do you say to people who have those type of thoughts or feelings?
Would you rather to go to a doctor that has experience in his practice, or would you rather go to someone that is practicing? I mean, let's just say right now, if you break your leg, do you want, they say, I'm gonna give you a choice over somebody that's practicing and and just have education, book knowledge of how to fix your leg, or would you like to go to somebody that's an experienced physician? So I'm experienced. Failures don't mean that I shouldn't have anything to say about it. My failures help you not to fail, so that you won't go through the same thing. So I never ascribe to that. I'm like, what do you mean? No, that's what you should want to. You're right. Yeah. Most of the people that you see that are in business, Michael Jordan, he failed first before he and now I'm spending all these thousands of dollars on his shoes. Just about everybody. Warren Buffett, they had failure. Success is only the sum total of all of our failures, and we finally get it. So I want to people pay thousands of dollars to go to listen to those guys that have failed, only to tell them that they failed and this is how you succeed. So
that's so good. And that kind of, like you said, that now that you say that, like, I haven't thought about, but relationships is one of the few areas we think that if you have any level of failure, that it's over. Whereas anything else, that we understand that if someone fails, that you keep trying, you keep going, and eventually you can succeed. But it seems like sometimes people have a limited view on relationships, and they cap you off. Like, you have one chance, and if you don't get it right that first time, then something's wrong with you, and something's wrong.
But nobody gets married to get a divorce.
Exactly.
I mean, who spends all that money to say, "Oh, I'm gonna get a divorce in like 15 years or 20 years because this ain't gonna work"? I was telling somebody the other day, no, actually today, and they were saying, "Yeah, well, I'm a mess. I don't think it's gonna work." I'm like, so as you say, so is it? I mean, so many, even with we have to handle relationships like we handle everyday life. And if you say a relationship, you going into it negative, then guess what? It's not going to work.
Yeah,
it's not going to work.
Why do you?
So no.
What do you think is, like? I don't know what it is, and I haven't been able to put it into words. But there's something that there's just this. I don't know, like this, like I said, the limitation or these negativities that people have about relationships. Like, what do you think makes it so hard for people to really believe in love and themselves and experiencing a healthy, happy relationship?
Fear.
Yeah.
Risk. Fear. That is not going to work. And guess what? It may not work.
Right.
But you ready for this, Portia?
Yeah.
What if it do? What if it does work?
Right.
What if this is the person for you and you scared to take that risk? I think the worst thing in the world is for whoever your last one is to control your next one.
Yeah.
Ooh, I need to write that down. Remember that. Whoever your last one is, it is a danger to let them control who your next one is. And how do we control it? How do they control it? By saying, I'm not going to give Portia a chance because of Rachel.
Right.
Rachel then went and got booed up. She married. She got a baby. They living happily ever after, and you still stuck because you won't move on.
Right.
And so the biggest thing is taking risks based upon your last risk.
Right.
That didn't work.
Right.
But it will work one day. And failed relationships are lessons.
Exactly.
And if you learn the lesson, then you won't have to keep failing.
Yeah. And it's that saying, they said it's not starting over, it's starting from experience. And so, like, when we start over with a new relationship, if we change our perspective, we can embrace and have an even greater love experience with somebody else. And I know for me and my divorce, that I don't have a negative view on marriage. My marriage wasn't all bad. We didn't make it through there, but I value having another person in my life. And I just don't even understand why people wouldn't even want to do life together. Like, it's a beautiful thing.
Doing life with somebody, I know, like right now, I don't know about you, Portia, but I know right now, if I had the right one in my life right now, you said all them accolades that I'm doing, but can you imagine if I had the right one in my life? Mm-hmm. Man, I'd be able to climb Mount Everest. Like, I mean, like, for real. You just feel like I had, Anisha, my co-host.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For the radio show.
Yeah.
So, transparent moment. Me and Anisha, we're just friends. We just work on the show together. Nothing, But I was in a room on Clubhouse, and she said to me, when I got through, she said, "That was so dope, Bishop. I gave some books away to some of the young preachers, and my book on hosting and evangelism and traveling." And I said, "Wow!" Just to hear her say, as a woman, that what it was that I did was dope. We just need that affirmation. Yeah. And I found out, Portia, since I've been on this COVID thing in the house, I found out that one of my love languages as a girl, because as you grow, things change. One of my love languages is affirmation, words of affirmation. And I used to think people that need words of affirmation, that's like validation. That's for parking. You don't even know you're insecure. No, I'm not. That is I need words of affirmation. Yeah. So I think that I think at the end of the day, we need to get over our fears and over our risk management and go ahead and do it. Because my goal for the end of the year, I'm doing on the 11th of February, I'm doing a masterclass, and it's called Relationship Goal Setting 2021. And I'm telling people, if you want to be a good single, be a good single. No pressure. If you want to be a good, if you want to be a good dating person, be a good dating person. Let me help you set your goals. If by the end of the year you want to be in a committed relationship, let's work on that. So by the end of the year, my goal is announcement, breaking news. I want to be in a committed relationship, not marriage, but I just want to be in a committed relationship because I know that I am missing. COVID will make you know that you're supposed to be in a relationship. How in the heck did you end up? Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus, why in the middle of COVID? Right. We saw it coming a long time ago. We could have divorced sooner, so I could have had.
Right. Absolutely.
But, we definitely trust God in His process.
Absolutely. So what's your relationship goal?
My relationship goal, same thing. I would love to be in a committed relationship. I have surrendered that, the need for controlling it. And as your book talks about, finding myself.
Good plug. Doing
the work. And so definitely
what book is that?
This is Preparing and Positioning for the Right One by Bishop Greg Davis. Make sure you get your copy today, please.
That's it, Portia.
Hoodie, go with God. Go with God.
Go with God hoodie. You see, she's such a great supporter. I should have paid her for this interview.
Go with God. So I'm going with God, Bishop, and I'm focusing on my work, and I am trusting and believing that prayerfully I will meet someone and we will be in a committed relationship this year. So,
yes, ma'am.
But and you know what? Your goal setting class, I think that's so important because one thing, I hear people say like they're trying to work on themselves, they're trying to do all this other stuff before they get in a relationship. But what I really find is most people are not doing any work. They're just not dating. They're just avoiding it, and they're really not preparing and positioning.
You invest in everything else. Your hair is beautiful. You invested in that.
Right.
You buy clothes. You invest in it. You invest in makeup. You invest in everything. You invest in a house. Why wouldn't you invest in your relationship? I charge $49.99, and if they register and say they heard it on here, I'm gonna give you this book for free. It's $20, and so you're getting a $69 value for $49. Go to gregdavisshow.com since she's doing her own plugs of my own stuff, and I'm gonna help you become your relationship goals. Before you can get in, you have to become your relationship goals.
Right. And another. And I'm gonna go back just a little bit when we were talking about people who had divorced and how can you speak on it. One thing, and you can attest to this being married before and being around married people, everyone who's married is not happy. And also, even as you've been talking to single people, you've said that there have been people who are married who are like listening, and they maybe realize they did not marry the right one. And instead of saying stuck and those relationships, they have gathered the courage to have to separate. But some people stay married because of pride and because they don't want to seem like a failure. But there are many couples who are not happy. So you can't look at a couple and just assume because they're married and been together that they could give you good marriage advice. Yeah,
see, here's the thing. I'm not staying with anybody for nobody else because they ain't gonna stay with who they with for me.
That's good, Bishop.
Man, I hope you writing all this down. These are little videos, man. I don't even remember the first one. You gonna send them to me, right? You gonna play the tape back. I'm just not gonna do it. Yeah, I'm just not gonna do it. I'm not gonna be unhappy for nobody else that really shouldn't set the tone of my life of happiness. Mm-hmm. And so I know, man, I can tell you so many of my friends that ain't happy. I can walk in a church or in a house and tell when a couple is not happy.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna fake the phone. And when in the world I'm gonna sleep in separate beds with somebody? That's the reason why I got married. I wanna
See, and that's another thing. Now we kind of had that segue. One thing too, you are real, and so you address topics that we don't always get to hear, about sex. And I remember like one of your things was like, Don't say to someone, you mean to tell me the sex is that good and they treating you bad? And that's really, and to hear someone say it in a church, because we think we're just not supposed to be having sex. But the reality is some people are stuck because of things like that. And if we don't say it out loud, then some people will never get free. And you just saying that really, I'm sure, freed a lot of people.
I'm not staying for good sex if they're a nasty person, and I'm not staying for bad sex if they're a nasty person. I'm saying nasty in attitude. If we don't get along, I don't care how good the sex is. I'm not going to be miserable because of good sex.
Right.
Because you can find somebody else that got a good attitude and good sex, and they're a freak. Yeah, just being real.
Hey, right. And it's real talk, and we need to hear that. People need to hear it to be true. Because whether we want to acknowledge it or not, singles are having sex.
They're having sex. They're having sex. They're having big sex. They're probably having more sex than married people.
Yes.
And better sex.
Yes. And so but those things have to be addressed and said, because they find themselves in cycles or find themselves stuck in those situations and not progressing because they're enjoying the sex, thinking they can't find. And you said something like, all these men out here, and I guess you was saying you don't think
7.7 billion humans in the world, and you stuck on stupid with one.
I was like, okay, Bishop.
They love that when they were talking about that on Clubhouse. They're like, and the bishop said there, how many, Bishop? 7.7 billion people in the world, and you stuck on stupid for one person that don't even make you happy. The sex is bad. They treat you bad. And yeah. And for men, y'all settling just for a missionary. Now figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much more, to be discussed, but I appreciate you just being so real and open about the topics that need to be discussed. And so when y'all follow Bishop, you're going to get the real, and he's going to, openly talk with you about all those things. Now, I know we've talked about the book a lot. I know we said you have a single out, and so I don't know, you want to jump in and say,
Lord, I need a miracle right now. Lord, I need a miracle right now. And I picked that song for this time because all that's going on. We all need miracles, with the transition in the White House have happened and all that's going on. Just because we have a new president, it don't mean that, he was left. It's like you go in somebody's house after they move out and you got to clean it. He got 4 years of cleanup. It's not going to be. So we need a miracle, and we need it right now. People are losing their jobs. People are unemployed. People are trying to figure out how to pay bills. They're losing their homes. Lord, I need a miracle. That's an old song by a blues singer. He was a gospel singer too, named Solomon Burke. Then I go into, it's like a little medley. And so go download it on iTunes, Spotify, and all that. Have you heard it?
Yes. And I was going to share, I listened to it the other day and I just broke down in tears. I just was weeping on the floor. But it wasn't a sad weeping. But it was because, you go into that part, it is well. And you begin to encourage and uplift. And I just really felt like the Lord was strengthening me and just speaking to it's well. He's, and that he's going to bless me. He's going to bless my family, my children, and the desires of my heart. And I'm like, part of my miracle, I need a husband. And I was praying for you too, Bishop. I was like, Lord, even with
right now
house, we need a miracle. Send them, Lord.
But I want everybody to go get it, and then you can go to Bishop Greg Davis on YouTube at Bishop Greg Davis Vivo VEVO. Now you can just put Bishop Greg Davis and it'll come up, but the video is there, and we have some church. This is for folk that like church, and you might want to be careful not to drive too fast while you're listening to it because it's really good. I'm not the greatest singer, but I like old church. So yeah.
Yes, and it kind of caught me off guard because I was like, I'm about to listen to Bishop's song, and next thing I know, I was sneaking into my kids was in there wiping my eyes, and I'm like, baby, it's okay. I'm just being encouraged in the Lord. But yes, get the song, and like I said, it would definitely bless you. Did you want to say anything else about the Young Preachers movement or anything else?
The Young Preachers movement. Those of you that are watching at Young Preachers, you can follow on Instagram Young Preacher the Movement. Or you can do Young Preacher the Movement Facebook, or you can text 81411 Young Preacher to 81411, and you get a daily text. I have almost 1,500 young preachers on the daily text. I encourage them. Same way with When the Right One Comes, you can text 81411 WTROC to 81411. And no, that's it. I have a young preacher booklet. Go to my website. Everything we're talking about is on GregDavisShow .com, and you can get my new book, and it's only $15, and it's the story of Boaz and Esther. I mean, of Ruth and Boaz. She's not waiting for Boaz. She is preparing herself and positioning herself for Boaz. She had been married before, so we always talk about, I'm waiting on Boaz. Boaz is dead. She wasn't even waiting on Boaz. So
right. I love when you say that, and the perspective that you give on that.
Yeah. So go get all that. I really appreciate you pushing everything. You're a good interviewer. I think you got a future in this.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And before we end, I do like to ask people, what is one thing you do for self-care? Definitely want to encourage that, and just want to ask people, what is something you do?
Listen to music.
Okay.
Music is my therapy. I love music. Listen to music. Music is my therapy. I love concerts. When the world was open, I love concerts. Actually, my working out and cycling, I wish you could see my bike. I call her Black Beauty. I have a not a touring bike, but I have a road bike.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I ride, I run, I walk. Those are my therapy things, like for real. Most people do it just to lose weight, but I like taking long rides and all that stuff. Yeah. Yep.
Well, good. It seems like you have a diverse list of things that you do.
I try. Music is my main thing. If there's one thing that I miss from COVID, I miss concerts.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I miss concerts.
Any concert?
Charlie Wilson, that's my favorite. Bruno Mars. I went on the Run. Rihanna. I've been to everybody. I even been to Madonna concert.
Really? How was it?
Amazing. She was climbing the poles and amazing. I like good music, but I like people that can perform.
Okay.
I don't think this generation has much performance. Like, I think Jennifer Hudson is a great singer, but she's a horrible. I've seen her in concert. She's horrible. Anthony Hamilton is wonderful. I like people that's gonna walk the aisles and give you drama. So Charlie Wilson is my number one, though.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. And if there's something you can share that maybe nobody knows about you, one thing that
I'm an introvert. I am.
You're an introvert.
I'd rather this. I guess I'm an extrovert. Introvert. The introvert part comes from, like, if we one-on-one in a room and it's just us, I'm like, ooh, this is uncomfortable. Why don't she say something? Jesus. Oh my God, can you get me out of here, please? And like my Bishop Morton, you know Bishop Morton. Bishop Morton is an introvert. So to sit with Bishop Morton and I'm an introvert, we be like, yeah, you all right? Yep, I'm good too, Bishop. Yeah. All right, yeah. And I'm right, yeah. So I'm an introvert. I am. All the TV and radio I do, but I'm an introvert.
Okay, and lastly, just send the singles off with one last word of encouragement.
So singles, as you get ready for Valentine's Day, get you a table for one. Order your own dinner. Go to a restaurant by yourself. Buy yourself some candy. Buy yourself some flowers. Do what you can to make yourself happy, and don't focus on being alone. Focus on being a great single.
Thank you. That was so great. Thank you so much, Bishop. Well, thank y'all for watching. Take care, and Bishop, have a great one. Thank you so much.
Go with God.
Oh, yes, go with God. Thank you for saying that.
No problem.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining me for that episode. Did y'all not enjoy Bishop Davis He definitely dropped some gems for us this evening. And so I'm definitely appreciative of him just coming on. It really meant a lot for me, for him to just join us. And I really hope you all were listening and really just kind of took in some of the information. I want you to be encouraged. If you find yourself in a place, he talked about people being afraid to fall in love again. I really want to speak to you and encourage you to believe, to have hope that you can love again if your heart has been broken. If you've never been in love and never received it, I want you to be encouraged to know that you are worthy of being loved and somebody is waiting on your love. And so to make sure that you're doing some things to progress forward in this particular area. So some things we can do is, of course, just start within. Look within and see if there's anything that you need to work on. And some of that work may require you going to a counselor. It may require you doing some reading some self-help books. It may require some meditating. Make sure you're taking care of yourself physically, that you feel good about you. So, incorporate some daily exercise. Make sure that you're eating healthy, that you're feeling good, that you're getting the rest you need. But then also, let's be intentional about meeting people. Let's be intentional about being friendly. Let's show ourselves friendly. There are different ways in which we can engage with people. Yes, we're in the middle of COVID, but there are safe ways to engage and to meet new people. There are dating apps, there are social media apps. And if you're needing assistance with that, hire a coach. I do coaching. Bishop Davis has the relationship goals course. I'm going to take it. So if you desire to be in a relationship this year, then be intentional about doing something to make progress in that area. Sign up for the class. He mentioned it. You can go on his, follow him. If you're not following him, you can follow him on all social media sites. Definitely you can follow him on IG at Bishop Greg Davis. And so yes, definitely just do something. Be friendly, be intentional, be flirty. Show people your interest. You can use social media, but I mean Instagram. Comment on people's photos. Show them interest. Don't just be intentional about showing them that you are engaged, that you are not just a random person just trying to be extra, but that you really have a level of interest in them. All right. Well, this is my favorite segment of the show, everyone. We are here for the dedication segment. But right before we go into that dedication, I have a special guest, as you can see. But before we get into that, just a reminder of some things coming up. Tomorrow we have the walk with Extreme Life with Tanisha. She was the trainer who was on last week. If you didn't watch the show previous, please go back and watch it. We want to take care of our physical health. We are doing a 4-mile walk around the lake. I hope to see you there. We want to create a community. It's a way to socialize, get out. And again, singles, hey, you may meet someone there. So let's get out, men and women. Men, you're welcome to come too. Families, you're welcome to come. You can bring your children if they're able to walk 4 miles, or if you can push them in a stroller. But everyone come out. We want to get physically fit. We want to take care of our temples, take care of ourselves. We can also socialize, and the lake is beautiful. It is so therapeutic. Then February 13th, y'all, Bishop Greg Davis is doing a Zoom call with us. So this is for singles. We're going to be celebrating our singleness. It's going to be a time to uplift one another, to be excited. We know Valentine's Day is coming, but we don't have to feel down because we don't have a Valentine. If you don't, you may be single and in a relationship, but you get what I'm saying. Maybe y'all not committed yet or whatever. But for those of us who are single, who don't have dates, be encouraged. We can celebrate ourselves. We can love on ourselves. We can do something for us. And so we're going to have a time. We can talk with Bishop Davis, ask any questions. Listen, if we have enough mixture of guys and girls, men and women, let me say that, we might be able to do a shoot your shot real quick. Maybe we could do a few people. So come on, join us, whether we do that or not. We're going to have a fun time. So we want you to join us. More information is coming. If you're not following me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram with Progress with Portia. Okay, guys. Well, now we're at the dedication segment. So as you know, this segment of the show is a time where you can dedicate or write a letter to someone who you love. You can write a love letter. You can write a letter of closure. You can write a poem. You can write an apology letter. You can write a word of encouragement. You can write a letter to a deceased loved one. The purpose of this is to encourage communication. It is to encourage people to share their feelings and emotion. It can be a time of healing for those who are doing a closure letter or an apology letter or a letter to a deceased loved one. And so we're so excited today. I have a special guest who's going to join us today, and he's going to share a poem, a closure poem. And so I'm excited about that he's come on. So he's going to be anonymous. Remember, I told you, you can be anonymous, and I am upholding that word. So he is here tonight. So we're going to say the name. He has titled his poem, The End. So my anonymous friend, you can go ahead.
The End. 12 years of friends are the best. As the story unfolds, we become closer than all the rest. A bond that can never fold. We shared every doubt, insecurity, dream, and secret because we both knew we could keep it. You're always there to inspire. I never would have thought what would transpire. My friend became my desire. You were the one that set my soul on fire. In the beginning, I was so timid, but our bond was beyond intimate. I knew in my heart you were genuine and passionate. You became my muse, my rhythm and blues. As we all know how life goes, it comes with some tragic blows, unbearable lows. Your luck was running out, your chips were down. But I wanted you to know, without a doubt, I was going to be around. In your corner for every hit, every round. We went round for round, pound for pound. Before I knew it, I was in love, and so were you. Just when I thought our love was at its apex, I was devastated at what came next. You wanted my touch until you didn't. My love was all you wanted until it wasn't. You made me feel like I was holding you back. You said you needed space. Because I loved you no matter what, I still had your back. For you, however, that was not the case. No matter what, friends to the end. We got to the end and you were like, well, it depends. Now your love came with conditions. These conditions became partitions. I was the partition between you and your dreams coming true. What you missed was you were my dream come true. I get it. People have to do what they have to do. And you had to do what you thought was best for you. But not necessarily what was best for us. Which caused us to fight and fuss. For your love, I was a fighter. Willing to put my light out so yours could shine brighter. The further away you went, my grip became tighter. But little did I know, for your fire, I was no longer your lighter. All I ever wanted was your heart and to never be apart. Nothing would have made me happier than to see you happier. I wanted to see you on top, shining bright above the rest. I hope you found what you're looking for because I know there will be no rest for you until you do. I just hoped I could be there with you. No hard feelings. I wish you the best. In my heart is where you will forever rest. You were the best, I must confess. Friends to the end. We got to the end and we found out then.
Well, thank you so much. Wasn't that a wonderful poem, y'all? I mean, so much feeling. You can definitely see that it was a lot of sincerity and heart put into those words. So many times Black men get a rap that they have no feelings, that they don't care. But that's not true. Black men have feelings. They express things. And clearly, as we see in this letter and in this poem, that there was definitely some heartfelt feelings there. So thank you so much for that, for sharing the poem, for sharing your feelings, for being vulnerable, also for writing that letter of closure for yourself. And so thank you. I definitely, like I said, just appreciate it. And y'all, I forgot to mention, I did have the Black Males Luncheon. It was a mental health and networking luncheon. It was amazing. And I'm thinking about that even as I'm talking about a Black man sharing. And so to see these Black men, it was a small group discussion. And so 6 men, there was supposed to be 8, but 2 had some things that came up. And so, but it was amazing conversation with the 6 men. They all happen to be entrepreneurs. I didn't realize that initially, but it was a time of mental health discussion. They opened up, they shared, and just had a really great connection vibe, like just, and opening up and working through some different issues. So they definitely appreciated the platform, want some more opportunities like that. I'm sharing that to say our Black men have something to say. Our Black men are experiencing things. They have feelings, and we have to change that narrative and stop going around saying that they don't. It's not true. So thank you. Y'all stay tuned for the next one. The next episode is going to be with Gary Chambers. And so we had an amazing discussion about his congressional run and do have an opportunity to serve this weekend as well with Gary Chambers. So I know it's a lot going on this weekend. I wanted to do something on the 20th, but they have a big campaign push on the 6th. So we are going to do that tomorrow as well as the walk. So if you want to be a part, definitely let me know. Reach out to me on Instagram. Thank y'all and have a good night.
And I hope you're ready. I hope you did some little stretches. We're about to get moving with Tanisha. But first, we want to talk about her 2 books. And so it is Fearfully and Wonderfully Made, 10 Affirmations on Body Image. And then we also have Stop Dieting and Start Living. So I want y'all to go out and buy these books. They are